Greetings, believers, to a new Let's Play series. Welcome to Let's Play Dark Reign. Whew. That's quite an intro. Yes, Dark Reign is one of the many RTSs spawned from the emergent popularity of the Command & Conquer type of RTS games. I think. I mean, a little bit of speculation, of course, but this game does feel a lot like Activision saw popularity of a genre and thought, oh, we gotta get in here. And you know what? For the effort put into this game, well done. Dark Reign was not immediately the most popular game in my library, but it certainly made an impact when it was announced and all that for me. In that it was notably, it tried very hard to make itself look good, and I think it succeeds for the most part. I mean, I'm playing it now, but this is a game that is sort of like it has nostalgic value for me, mostly because I have not been able to beat it yet. Not for the lack of trying, mind you, because this game, by far, has had the most trouble running on any system I've had ever since I got the game. It would not run well anything, I think. And part of the reason why I'm trying to play this now is because, well, I'm worried that at some point in the future it just will not run ever on any system. I mean, this is already patched up with the unofficial fan patch to 1.7? 1.8 something? I don't know, the launcher I'm launching this through is a little bit vague on the details on that exactly, but suffice to say, it runs on Windows 10 now, so let's get into it, because this game has actually got a little bit more depth than actually CNC. Well, that's not too difficult, but this game actually tries to give me backstory for what I'm doing. And I appreciate it for that, because that's something that most games at that time really didn't bother. StarCraft sort of tried with their thing, but let's face it, it's fairly boilerplate what they did. This goes a little bit deeper than that, in my opinion. So let's just start with Dark Reign. I also have the expansion of this game. I have never played that, so I don't know what that goes. But anyway, let's start with Dark Reign itself.
Approaching Freedom Guard orbital defense matrix. Enemy scan detected. He's got a lock opening. Target path obscured. Readjusting course. Evacuate immediately.
Unidentified object detected. Initiating scans. Scans indicate that the object is a probe of Togran origin. This probe does not match any known production models. Incoming message.
Believer, it is I, Togra, who speaks to you now in my time of need. I can only hope that the followers still remember, for without you, my fate is sealed. I've discovered something wondrous which may secure the fate of our people for all eternity. Only I am trapped here on a world torn by the Imperium Freedom Guard war, and I fear it is not long before I fall victim to the terror which surrounds me. This probe has been programmed to search for believers, should some tragedy occur which would seal my fate. Locked inside is a one-way portal to the past. Yet it can be used only once, so you must prove yourself. If you still believe, then accept this challenge and return to save me, for I will bear our people to a new plane of existence.
Probe interface established. Authentication TB303 verified. Accessing probe data stores. Data indicates probe origin as a small planet in the SK system. Elapsed time since probe launch estimated at 213 years. Automated file encryption active. Initiating encryption key interface.
Whoosh, and there we are. That was quite a bit of things to go through. And I'll try to summarize as quickly as I can, because there is quite a lot to go through. Essentially, we are a member of the Togran civilization. And people who have essentially come to revere science as a faith. Which I don't fully understand, but, you know, is not important for this. It's just the case. Their founder, a guy named Togra, he does have a first name, but I can't remember it at the top of my head, essentially was a very, very, well, insane genius, let's put it that way. He managed to invent something that was so beyond anything of the current standard that he felt he couldn't stay within the confines of the Imperium anymore. And decided to take him and his people far away from all this so that they could pursue their own ideals. And, well, I say the Imperium, that's actually a little bit anachronistic, but we'll get to that. And in any case, they tried to stop the Exodus, or at least capture Togra. They failed. But Togra was separated from the rest of the civilizations. The Tograns eventually managed to settle down on a planet where they survived for a while until they were caught up by the Imperium and eventually were just subjugated. And we, as the game already said, we are a scout looking for a new place to just settle down and be Togran. There is quite a bit more to the story, but I'm giving a very oversimplified version of the story, which is luckily the game records all this. Now, the goal of this game is not to play as either the Imperium or the Freedom Guard, the two factions opposed in this war, because those wars have already been fought. We are actually well beyond that point. I don't actually know if the conflict has finished yet, whether one side has won over the other. I presume the Empire won, but for the moment, let's just say that it's still raging on, actually. No, Togra wants to test our ability to be a commander of units in either the Freedom Guard or the Imperium, or both, to see if we are worthy of going back in time to save him, and I think that is a premise I can work with. It's dumb as bricks if you think about it, but my golly, is that not a test you want to pass? Your own spiritual leader tells you have to be good at a game to come and save him. Definitely. Now, there's lots of things in the archive that I could read or read out. Not going to bother. I mean, certainly there is some fun stuff to find, like on all the units that you can do. Like, for instance, I quite like the field medic, for instance, because when you hear them in game, they sound really, really fed up with the entire situation. But it's explained why they are, a little bit cross. And that's not what I was intending to do at all. But there is one bit of this particular archive that I do want to lay on, and that's the Togran calendar on this particular journal that we are keeping ourselves. It's the date 102-37 in the year 2712. I haven't slept for days. When I close my eyes, horrible images seize my mind, tearing at the very tissues of my brain. I see my brethren slaughtered in giant waves of fire that sweep across the horizon. I see their broken corpses and smell their seared flesh. I feel our planet shudder under the ominous weight of the invading armies. All I have known is destroyed. Everything is stripped from me but my life. Some basic instinct, some mechanical, genetic obligation to survive at any cost carried me to my ship, drew me away from the burning carcass of my home, and now, here, adrift in the silent oblivion, I found my Messiah, and he wants me to save him. Yay! Alright, now, for the purposes of playthrough, I am guessing a lot of the time. I think I only need to beat the missions of one side or the other to beat the game. But obviously I want to play both sides, because, fun. So, who to side with first? Oh, by the way, I don't believe either side is particularly good in this particular war, but overall, I probably would favor the Freedom Guard over the Imperium, because as alignments go, the Imperium is obviously trying to be authoritarian, putting everyone in either fear or just overpowering them in sheer sense, whereas the Freedom Guard is trying to be free, and that's basically all they have. Yeah, they are essentially trying to be a rebel alliance, and they are almost succeeding at that. But let's begin with the raid on Alcine. Yeah, that's one thing. The menu transitions here are a little bit of a... that didn't really need to be here, but it's a neat inclusion. Although I think it's been actually slowed down by the patch, so if it seems to take too long to do, yeah, I can't help that. There's nothing I can change. In the early stages of the conflict, the Freedom Guard was limited to minor acts of sabotage against the Imperium. Young Freedom Guard officer Jap Radek plotted to perform a bold frontal raid on a sizable Imperium supply depot of pure water on the planet Alcine. The plan was considered a suicide mission by the fledgling Freedom Guard's ruling synod. But Radek ignored the synod and led the assault with a small team of volunteers. Yeah, because that's basically how the Imperium manages to dominate all of mankind. Is they have essentially poisoned all the water on every planet inhabited by mankind, and basically the only way, they control most of the still uncontaminated pools of water remaining. Alright, so we need to build a training facility, assembly plant, destroy all Imperium units defending the water processing facilities, and save 8,000 credits. Easy enough.
Unit generation in progress.
Alright, so I did fiddle a little bit with the sound and all that, but it's a little bit hard for me to make a full test of all that.
Construction
And also let's get some more stuff going. Now buildings will keep building as long as I have money.
Unit completed. Construction underway.
And I will soon run out. And here goes the first launch. Now, if I want to, I can order an early launch for the water, but that doesn't yield me anywhere near enough. I think you actually get a penalty for launching too soon, but in a pinch, if you need stuff, that's fine. Actually gonna turn down the music a little bit.
Construction complete.
Alright. All the turrets are built. Alright, so we have one harvester collecting Talon, which is essentially what we use to power our power plants. Well, I say power, it will improve the generation of our power plants, but it will not change much beyond that. Alright, let's get some raiders going.
Unit generation in progress. Unit completed.
Actually, I don't need quite as many.
Unit completed. Unit
Alright, well, the Empire is not really a threat to me here, so
completed.
just keep doing that. Building some spider bikes and some raiders.
Unit completed.
And Freedom Guard does feel like it has a bit of a scrappy feel to it, because it really is making weapons out of just anything they can find. Mostly from technology stolen from the Empire, of course, or from the Imperium.
Unit completed.
But I do feel the spider bikes are sort of iconic little vehicle that they use. Much more iconic than their hover tank with the triple rail guns that they use later on. Which is also a fun unit, but you just... I can't kill it. Alright, well... But I do like the weapon sounds and all that, for instance. It feels really meaty. Like you're actually have some future type weapons going on.
Squad 1.
Let's roll.
Now, terrain is another one of these new innovations that they try to push in this game, but I'm not entirely sure worked.
Enemy engaged. Unit destroyed.
Hit it.
I mean, infantry can pretty much crawl through any kind of terrain, whereas vehicles require a little bit more free space. Also, because most of the Freedom Guard units are actually either wheeled or tracked, they kind of need to have solid terrain to work with, whereas most of the Imperium vehicles are actually hover-based, so they can float about, although hover-based vehicles do have a slight problem going uphill, for whatever reason.
Squad 1.
Let's move.
In any case, that'll do for this episode, so thank you all for watching. See you all next time.